Hi, this is Ashlyn with Bellevue Avenue, and I wanted to welcome you to this demo of our new Photoshop tints. All right, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do to load your tints into Photoshop is open your Action panel, and you do that by going to Window, Actions, and then it will bring up your Actions panel. Okay, and then in this panel you will have a little drop down button over here where you can go to Load Actions. You'll then navigate to the folder that has your tints and click on the tints and click Load, and here they are. I like to use them in button mode because I can see them better and I like the color coding. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and open an image. Okay, and let's go ahead and read the instructions that are included. Bellevue Avenue tints were created to provide subtle finishing touches to your edited images. They provide various tones and enhancements that can be used alone or in combinations. Alright, so with the tints you have the option of playing all of them, and what this does is it will just run through every single tint so that you can play with each of them and see which one best fits your edit. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so now let me move this so that you can see it better. You have all of the tints ready for you to test and play with. So you can start going through and clicking the eye icon to reveal or hide these, and you can see which ones you like for your edit. You can also mix and match these. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at each one. Now the set that I'm showing you right now is Essential Tints 1. And the first one is Insta Pop. So this gives you a subtle depth right off the bat. So as you can see, before and after. And you have full control over each of these tints. You can play with the opacity to make it more subtle or stronger. So if you want a little bit more subtle, you bring down the opacity, or you can make it very strong. It's up to your tastes and what you would like to accomplish in your edit. Okay, the second one is Instacolor, and this is just a wash of color. It boosts the color in your images because sometimes they do come out dull, especially if you're shooting raw. The next one is Color Me Sweet. It's another color boost, but it's got more of a warm toning to it. So before and after. And then we have a little oomph. This is a Clean Pop. Before and after. We've got Diva. It's a rich depth. It's got a brownish tone to it, and it gives a subtle contrast to your image. So it gives a nice rich depth to your image. And then Meadow has a pink glow to it. So the highlights have a pink tinge. We have Riverwalk, which has cooling tones to it and a tad bit of contrast. Mahogany, which gives you a subtle warmth. Bamboo, which is an airy pinkish yellow, which is a nice airy tone to it. And then Mudslide is a rich brown. Goldenrod is a nice golden glow, so if you want to warm up your image, you can use Goldenrod. Milltown is a really neat vintagey brown, and we used a gradient map with different tonings to achieve this. Then we have Lighten the Mood, which is an airy, cool tone. Penny, which gives it a copper tint. Sugar Cream, which is a creamy warm. I really like this one. Horizon, which has warm shadows and a bit of depth and pop. Diamond, I really like this. It's a nice, bright, clean pop to your image. Just Peachy is an airy peachy glow. And then Herb Shop is really neat because it has cooler tones in the shadows and warmer pinky tones in the highlights. And Juicy Fruit is similar but a bit stronger. So you've got really cool tones in the shadows, magenta and bluish tones, and then in the highlights you have pinkish yellow tones. So that's a really neat one to play with. Okay, so that is the Essential Tints 1. Let's go ahead and look at Essential Tints 2. So again, you go to this little drop down button, you load your actions, and here they are. So this is going to give you a whole new set of tint options, different color combinations and different toning shifts. And these are awesome for your workflow because they really work great with a variety of styles, and they give a finishing touch to any type of editing look that you have. They work with any action set that's on the market. You can incorporate these into your workflow, and what's really neat about them is that they aren't complete, full, heavy actions. They're simple toning that you can top off your image with and mix and match and really try different styles out and see what you could accomplish in your different edits. Okay, so let me pull up a different image. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of go one by one again so you can see what these are like. Boosterific is a clean boost. It's different than Instapop in that it's a little bit cleaner and not as contrasty, and it's a bit brighter. So before and after. And then Grande is adds contrast and depth, and it gives a tiny bit of a matte to the shadows. I don't know if you can see it here, but watch the blacks here. Before and after. Okay, and then Color Blast, it's another saturation pop, but it has a little bit more of a contrast to it. So it's a contrasty color boost. All right, Acorn is a really beautiful airy beige. Hawk is a rusty pop, which adds rusty tones and depth to the shadows and a little bit of warmth to the highlights. Seed Stir is a timeless brown, which is really nice and gives a really beautiful finishing touch. Tangy gives an orange glow to warm up your images. Mango Splash is another warm toning, but a little bit more yellow to it. Olive Juice is a, oh wait, I skipped some. Yarn Basket is a creamy, warm wash over your image. Marmalade is a pinkish orange. Olive Juice is a beautiful yellowish green. I love the warmth that this tint gives to my images. I really love this. Aura is an airy, cool, warm. So you can see the cooler tones in the shadows and warmth in the highlights. And then Dewberry is a nice, fresh, clean pop with some cooler tones. Moonlight gives a cool depth to your image with somewhat purple tones and deeper shadows. Peachy Glow gives a nice airy peach. And then Sweet Tart is a combination of cool and warm, so you have the cooler highlights and the cooler shadows and the warmer highlights. And this one's at a very low opacity, so you can increase it and see the stronger version here. So before and after. And then Hog Wild is a rich pop. And And then Feng Shui is a clear boost. Slab is a brown depth. It's a brownish depth, which desaturates slightly and adds a brownish hue. And paper mache is a cool contrast. Okay, so those are the basic tints. Now I want to show you how you can mix and match these. Let's go over to this image again, and I'm going to use Essential Tints 1 and play them all. Okay, so I'm going to use Milltown, which gives it that kind of timeless brown look. And then we're going to play around with some of the other tints to see what looks good in combination. So Bamboo brightens it up a bit, so you can see before and after. All right, let's try another one with the Milltown. Okay, so let's do Riverwalk. And that gives a nice contrast and adds a little bit more cooling to the shadows. So let's do it before and after of that combo. Before and after. So as you can see, these mix and match beautifully. They really complement each other, and you can create some lovely recipes with these different tints because they are so subtle. They're incredibly easy to mix and match and formulate your own style with these. They're absolutely a staple for any editing toolkit because they are so versatile, and they're going to broaden your horizons of creativity, allowing you to try different toning options that you may not have thought of. There have been several times where I'm editing and you get in a rut of your editing workflow and you don't try new things, and then when I apply these different tints to my edits, I can see, wow, it looks so much better with this tint. I would have not thought to try it because I'm used to my own workflow, but I actually like it better this way. So they really do give you the tools that you need to apply different looks and really improve the finish of your images. Okay, so another thing you can do with these is each tint has a layer mask included. And for those of you who do not use layer masks yet, layer masks are incredibly powerful because they allow you to selectively choose where different effects are applied to your image. So right now the white is applied, so that means that the effect is applied to the entire image. If I want to remove the effect, I would paint black on that layer mask. So I'm going to get my brush and make sure that it's on black and make sure it's soft and flows at 100%. All right, so if I wanted to take the contrast, the Riverwalk out of this, just off of him, I would make sure my layer mask is selected and I have my black brush and I would just paint right over him. Okay, so the cool tones are applied everywhere in the image except for him. So let's look at the before and after. Before and after. All right, now let's see it, the Riverwalk before and after. Before and after. All right, so you really have a ton of flexibility with these when you think about combining them and creating your own formulas, as well as selectively applying them to certain areas of your image. If you want a browner touch to a particular aspect, then you could paint it on. So another thing you can do with the layer masks is to invert. So you would click Control-I, and then it turns it black, meaning that it's not applied to the image anywhere. So to selectively apply that tone to your image, you choose a white brush, which will reveal the tone, and brush it on wherever you want. So right now I'm just brushing it on him. So that brownish tone is only going to be on him. Okay, so before and after. In addition to using layer masks and creating your own recipes, you have full control over the opacity of these. So if you want more of a intense effect, just increase the opacity. If you want less, then decrease the opacity. So this is how the tints work. They have become an integral part of my workflow, and I love them and use them every single time I edit now. I know you're going to love them too. I've been dying to share these with you all. So enjoy. Jump into our Facebook group to share your images and ask questions. I'll be there to help. Others will be there to help. And thank you so much for joining me.